Go.
Hey guys, I'm going to help you today as we walk through how you're going to do your snowflake made out of yarn. So each of you are going to be getting a plate that looks like this with a snowflake template glued onto it. So the very first thing that we are all going to do together is we are going to use a push pin like this. These ones are easier, the ones that are shaped like this, because you can grab right there with your fingers, okay? So you are going to get a push pin. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this onto the carpet and you're going to push holes into it. So we're going to go over to the carpet and push holes into it. Okay? You are going to put it down on the carpet like this. The first hole you're going to make is in the very middle of your snowflake. Then you're going to go to all the spots where the lines cross each other. So I would go here, then I would come right here, then here, and then here. That's where all these lines cross. And then I also need to do the very tips of the snowflake. So on the very tip of the snowflake. Okay, that was fast. Now I'm going to do this tip here. Then I'm going to go back to the next one. I'm going to do right here in the middle where the lines cross. So here, all the way up this part of the snowflake to the very tip. Then I'm going to do the tips of each little part of the snowflake. Now I'm going to do this one. Now I'm going to do again all over. Your plate should look like this. It should have all of these dots. Okay? All right, so let's take our snowflake back over here because now we're ready to start with our yarn. So once we made sure you have all of your holes poked in it, you are going to pick a piece of string from the yarn monster at your table. To do that, all you do is you pick up the yarn monster in the middle and you take the end and you pull one string out of it. Okay, and you're going to use this one string. So the first thing we need to do with our string, once we have the color that we want, and you can go to any table and pick the color that you want. It's okay if it's not at your table, go ahead and go pick the yarn color you want. I like to lick my fingers and kind of go like this with the end of the yarn, because then it makes it easier. Then I pinch it like that, so it's between my fingers. I'm gonna put it in through the eye of our needle. It's kind of tricky, see, even for me. So I put it through, so I'll lick it again, get it really good and small, and I pinch it and then I stick it through and I'm gonna pull it through just like this. Okay, so here's the thing, we have it through but we need it like this so that we can sew. So I'm gonna really quickly, so that it will stay on the needle, I'm gonna take it like this, and just like I'm tying a knot, I'm just gonna go over and through the loop, and I'm gonna just tie it to my needle like that. Okay, this way when you're doing your threading, that yarn is gonna stay on there. Okay, so with that end of your plate, okay, you're gonna get a piece of tape and you are going to tape down your yarn to the side that has the picture of the snowflake. Okay, so tape down your yarn on the side of the picture because our yarn is going to make the picture on this side. So we want to go through there. So we're going to start by going up through the middle of the very middle of our snowflake and pull it all the way through. So now our yarn is on this side. Okay, now we're going to pick one of these dots closest. It doesn't matter which one we start with because we're going to do all of them eventually. But I'm going to start with this one that's it's very close to my center one. It's one of the ones that's closest. I'm going to push through that. I'm going to pull it all the way through. Okay. Now I'm going to look on this side and I'm going to see, oh, yep, it went through there. Now my line of my snowflake, the next spot I'm going to I can't pull it around this side again and go down because look, if I did that, my yarn would get stuck on that side. So if I'm on this side, I have to go up through this side. Okay. So now I'm going to find this dot that's right above where I came down. Now I'm going to go up through it. Okay. now that I'm here, I need to connect my snowflake line. So guess what? I'm gonna go back down through here. And it's okay to go through the same hole more than once. So I'm gonna go back down and pull all the way through. Okay, I'm gonna flip it over and say, okay, this is the next part of my snowflake up here. I am going to, since my yarn is on this side of the plate, I am gonna go through this hole right here, pull all the way up. And now we've got to complete this line, so I'm gonna go back down through the one before it. Good, do you see how our snowflake line is forming? I'm gonna go up through the next one. Okay, we're getting close to the top. Okay, and if I look on this side, we went through. I'm gonna go back down through the one before. Okay, oh, it's looking so nice. Now we're gonna go up through this tippy top one. Now this part gets a little trickier. So I've gone through here. I'm gonna go back down through the hole I went through before. But now we wanna do these parts of the snowflake. So I'm on this side of the plate. So I'm gonna say, okay, now I've gotta go up through this hole that I made. Okay, let's see, did I make one right there? I feel like I should have, but I can't quite get it. So if I didn't do a good enough hole, I'll just take and I'll poke. Make sure I did those good. Okay, I'm gonna poke through where I made a hole here. And then I'm gonna go back down through this hole because look, this is going to make that part of my snowflake. And now I need to go to this side and say, oh, I'm gonna do that to the same side over here. So I'm gonna go up through here. And where am I gonna go down through? I'm gonna go back down through that same hole. And see there, we're starting to see that snowflake shape. Now I'm gonna say, okay, what part should I do next? I should do a hole that's close to it so I don't waste yarn. Okay, so I'm gonna go up this one. So I'm gonna turn around and I see that it's right here. I'm gonna go up through here. And now I'm gonna come through this hole because I want it to match the design here. And so I know that this one goes through here. Now I've got to do this one over here. Okay, I did this side, now I got to do this hole over here. So I come and I say, okay, there's that hole. So I'm going to poke it up through that hole. I'm going to pull it all the way through. And then I'm going to come back down through this hole again. Good. Next, I'm gonna say, okay, I gotta do these ones. So I gotta flip it over and look, okay, I can go through this one or this one. It doesn't matter which one I do first because I'm gonna do both of them. So I'm gonna stick that through there. I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna go down through here. If I go down through here, it'll look funny. Our snowflake doesn't look like that. Our snowflake looks like this. So we are gonna go down through there. Now we need to do this side. So I'm gonna flip it over and I'm gonna say, here's where I go up through. And I'm gonna go down through this same hole. Okay, that was so good. So now this part gets a little different because we've done this part of the snowflake, the kind of like the stem, I'm gonna call it. But now we're gonna do this part over here, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna find that hole for this kind of little pointed part. So I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna say, okay, here it is. It's right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this hole next. Now that I've come back down in my yarn, it's right there. I'm gonna come through there and I'm gonna look over here and I'm gonna say, okay, but I've got to connect it to here because on this picture, look, it's connected to here. So I'm gonna connect it like this through this hole. Good. But then we're gonna come up through this hole like this. So that's this one right here. I come up, and then in order to make that triangle shape, I need to come up through, go down through here again. Good. So then you're like, okay, that looks good. Where am I gonna go to next? Well, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to come back up through, let's see, I'm down through here. I'm gonna come back up through the middle. So here's the middle. I'm gonna go down through here. And then guess what? I am gonna work my way up this part of the snowflake, just like we did on this one. So just so you remember how to do that, if I'm down here, I'm gonna go up to this next one. I'm gonna poke down, poke through, and then we're gonna go down like this. Then we're gonna come up this next hole right here. Then we're gonna go down through here. And I'm gonna keep going because I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do. We're running out of string. So when we run out of string, the way that we can end the string or tie it off is we slide our needle under the spots where you've already weaved. So you go under these and you pull it through, but don't pull it through all the way because look, you're gonna find this little circle that it made. So when I pull it under, there's still this little circle right here. Can you see it? So there's the circle. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go around and through it. And guess what? It pulls into a knot. So I'm gonna do that one more time just to make sure it stays tight. I'm gonna go under, I'm gonna pull up my little loop, and I'm gonna put my needle through the loop and tie it into a knot. Then you're gonna cut this off and you are going to tape on your next piece of string. So I would take this off and I would get scissors and cut it. And I would pick another color of string. I can do the same color, or I can pick a new color if I want to have my snowflake be a lot of different colors. And then I would tape it to the back again right here and start with a new piece of string till all of this is done. That's how you make the snowflake.